General Museveni named the Judas of Africa.
I don't care what anybody says or tells me. This guy here is the Judas of Africa. This Ugandan's president is the Judas and the enemy of progress of Africa, of Mama Africa. This man is the brother that's always betrayed us. Every time we have a good president or good leader within Africa that's trying to make Africa stand on its feet, that's trying to make Africa come back, the Western world, the Europeans always use him. They always use him, to cut down that leader. The guy betrayed his best friend, Gaddafi. Gaddafi was his best friend. Gaddafi built so many things for him in Uganda. In fact, Gaddafi was the one who helped him to come into power. What did he do? He betrayed his own best friend. Who killed our president, John Garang? Dr. late John Garang. Yes, it's a higher power, but they had help from African brother. And not only him, there's others. I'm going to do a full video on that. There's others. But this guy here, I want to warn President Captain Abraham of Burkina Faso to be careful from this guy. He keep on inviting him to come to Uganda. I warn you from this guy. He is the Judas of Africa.
You heard that. This is a South Sudanese woman naming General Museveni the Judas of Africa, just about what he is doing in South Sudan. What is he doing in South Sudan? You and me, we must agree. General Museveni sent our soldiers, Ugandan soldiers, to South Sudan through his son, General Kainerugaba. And what are they doing there? Let's watch this video. Watch this.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, has come into the spotlight for using chemical weapons in airstrikes against the population in Nasir, Upper Nile State, South Sudan. World Without War, an international non-governmental organization, has released a statement condemning joint airstrikes by the South Sudan People's Defense Forces and their Ugandan counterparts in Nasir. According to the statement, images and witness accounts suggest that ethyl acetate, a flammable industrial chemical, was deployed in the densely populated region. Mr. Edward H. Carpenter, the director of World Without War and a former UN peacekeeper in South Sudan, reiterated his concerns about the use of chemical warfare. I am deeply concerned by the use of chemical incendiary weapons by the governments of South Sudan and Uganda, Carpenter stated, adding that the actions of the South Sudanese government and their Ugandan allies not only push the country toward full-scale civil war, but also constitute a war crime. The chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, General Kainerugaba, recently stated that the Uganda Special Forces, an elite unit of the UPDF, had entered South Sudan to protect the capital, Juba. Days later, regular infantry and mechanized units of the UPDF also entered South Sudan to support the special forces in what was termed the...
You heard that? You heard that? UPDF in South Sudan. General Museveni sent it there to do a certain objective. But General Museveni, his son, the UPDF, and the Ugandan officials do say they send UPDF in South Sudan to help, to give a helping hand to our brothers there in South Sudan, to prevent them from being killed by themselves, by white army, by some gangs, by some labor groups in South Sudan. But what are the people of South Sudan say? We've started with a woman from there who has named General Museveni the Judas of Africa, and for doing that, being with a good heart, a great heart of helping our people in South Sudan. But really, the South Sudanese people Are they believing this help? Are they calling it a help or something? Let's watch this video from South Sudan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, South Sudanese. This is Ruth Nyalel Jemiskai, and I'm here to remind you something. I'm seeing a lot of people are celebrating Ugandan soldiers coming to South Sudan. They're coming to South Sudan because South Sudan money have been spent on them. Millions and millions of dollars have been put into Uganda so that those soldiers will come. So if you are celebrating to SSPDF who are in South Sudan, know very well the money you are supposed to be enjoying, the money you are supposed to be taking your children to school, the money that is supposed to be your salary is the money that have been used to pay for those soldiers so that they can come to your country. And you agree with me, we have 4,000 troops of Uganda that are in Luri. Since January 2024, we have been having those soldiers in Luri. They have been taking good care of them, giving them good food, giving them good salaries. They have been getting $1,000 every month. But you don't get salary as the SSPDF. You don't get salary as the South Sudanese citizens or the civil servant. They have not been paying you for so long, but they have been taking good care of these soldiers, including their schools, their hospitals. They have done a lot of good things for them. Now, I'm here to bring into your attention, as much as they are bringing the UN, the UPDF into South Sudan, it is distraction. It's not going to be one-sided. As much as they want to take it to Nasser, it's not about Nasser anymore. It's about the government of South Sudan have failed. And there's no...
Okay. Let's first talk about the issue of money, the issue of facilitation. This South Sudanese woman is saying the government of South Sudan is paying money to cater for UPDF officers who are in South Sudan. And she says those UPDF officers are paid $1,000 each soldier per month. 1,000 soldiers in Ugandan shillings, it is what, like 7 million, 6 million, there, around there. 6 million, 7 million, around there. $1,000 to each Ugandan soldiers. But South Sudanese soldiers are not being paid salaries. Their salaries being paid to Ugandan soldiers. Here the question is, and what's amusing me here is, recently, the Ministry of Defense in Uganda and the Deputy CDF of Uganda, they were in Parliament asking for money to cater for the UPDF officers and their operations in South Sudan. Now, why are they asking for this money, yet the government of South Sudan is giving them the money to cater for UPDF in their country? Now, why are they asking for another bunch of money from the government of Uganda, from the Uganda taxpayers' money to be taken in South Sudan to fight for South Sudanese, but yet they are saying they have already paid the UPDF to pay their soldiers and to cater for their operations? That's the government of South Sudan. This woman is saying that is done to the UPDF. But again, the UPDF is asking for more money, yet they are being given money by the government of South Sudan to cater for their soldiers in South Sudan. Here is the Minister of Defense in Uganda. He was asked by the members of the committee in Parliament, where have they got the money to cater for the UPDF officers who are already in South Sudan, who were sent there before their approval of Parliament? Where are they getting the money? You know what the minister said? We are creative. We are creative. We sent them there with some food. You know, we are creative. That's what he said. And he said, we have already got $60 billion, $60 billion, $60 million, $60 billion. We're gonna see that. It's 60 millions, $60 billion, $60 million, like that, $60 million, $60 million, yeah, to cater for the officers in South Sudan, Ugandan officers. And that $60 million is Ugandan taxpayer money, which was sent with them. Again, they want another bunch of $30 million to go and cater for our brothers and sisters who are fighting in South Sudan. My question is, where is the money that the government of South Sudan gave to UPDF to pay for their operations, to cater for the operations in their country? Where is that money? Who took that money? Why are they asking for another bunch of money from the taxpayers' money Uganda, yet the government of South Sudan catered for that? Why this? Let's watch this.
Chair, Honorable Minister, I wanted to, earlier the accounting officer put our operations in South Sudan, and she says that the required logistic needed or resources needed is about 39.1 billion shillings, and the money is not available. And our soldiers and the UPDF is in South Sudan already. So how are they managing without resources then?
Okay, it's 39 billion shillings, not dollars. Okay, let's correct that. 39 billion shillings, Ugandan money, not dollars. Okay, the question remains.
It's very true. We hope that part of the good news is going to be helpful in, honorable members, to come to Ministry of Defense, UPDF, is completely very unique, because you never get to know when war is going to break out. We are in this room here. We don't know what the message room is channeling. So planning strictly, it becomes a problem. So we never envisage that there will be a time we shall go to help in our neighborhood. So we need your understanding. But I believe also now people in finance, they have understood. And we want to thank them. Most times the PSST and the ministers, they do. This situation of UPDF is very, very fluid. We need constant support, not a drip, but constant support.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, what the deputy asked, now the deployment is done. The UPDF are already in South Sudan. And from here, you are saying we don't have money, about 39 billion to cater for those people. What the committee want to find out is, where are you getting the extra resources? Since they are now in South Sudan, and the operation is already on. Where are you getting the resources from to maintain our soldiers in South Sudan, the operation in South Sudan?
First of all, Honorable Chair, allow me to thank Honorable Olanya. He's the immediate neighbor to the Republic of South Sudan.
And he supported fervently.
And he's the one who spoke for everyone in the House, because he knows what it means to be to a neighboring country which is not stable. I want to thank you for that. UPDF is very creative. They could have carried their small food rations, but we thank the Minister of Finance that right now 60 billion has been sent and 39.1 will be covered. We will be able to cover the operation in South Sudan.
That is now good news.
Yeah, that's good
the
news.
concern of honorable colleagues is that while the UP...
No, the guy is not talking of the money given to them by the government of South Sudan. They are not talking about that money. They are after asking more money from the Ugandan government, from the Ugandan Consolidated Fund of the taxpayer money of Ugandans to be taken to South Sudan to cater for their operations there. Yet they are already paid the money by the government of South Sudan. Who is taking this money? This money is for what? I hope you heard that woman very well. Let's first complete here and we go back.
UPDF is at home. They are very well catered for. We need them to even shine while they are away, so that they can keep us safe home and away.
That advice and observation is well noted.
Thank you.
Chair,
Honorable.
in Rwanda, in Congo, indeed, UPDF had no budget at that time when they deploying. And they came to this committee during a supplementary, we gave them money. But then this takes me back to the issue which we're handling, the issue of the boys who have been recruited, are being trained, and there is no money. And the minister here has said UPDF is very creative. In business, Chair, even if you had a very nice computer, you had a very good desk, but human resources is the most important. Even when you say you have bought Sukhois, you have trained these officers, but if you do not pay these officers, I can assure you that even what you have sent them to do in the South Sudan, they may not give you the results that you require. So as the UPDF, which is very creative, we want also to beseech and want to commit that as a committee, we are going to do our part. However, if you also feel you are creative and you can look through somewhere to ensure that these boys are paid, then do so that we can have a UPDF which is not demoralized in any campaign. But Chair, we want also to request that the Minister of Finance, I think we should engage with.
Okay. That was in the Committee of Defense earlier this week, Yeah. But let's go back to South Sudan. They say Uganda was given money to cater for the soldiers in South Sudan. And that money was given to them by the government of South Sudan. But again, here we go. Again we go. The UPDF is asking for more money. Is asking for more money to cater for these brothers of ours who are in South Sudan. I want to first get this. I don't know how true is it, but this is an information from South Sudan. It's an allegation. Let's take that like that. It's an allegation from South Sudan. The amount of money being given, right, to UPDF to do its operations in South Sudan. Hope you're ready for this one. Let's go through it. Breaking news. South Sudan Vice President Benjamin Bolmol releases additional $11 million for UPDF amid growing criticism. You see, South Sudan has given more $11 million to UPDF for its operations in South Sudan. Hear that. And they have already, the Ugandan government has already given 60 millions. 60 millions? 60 billions to UPDF in South Sudan. And that money is from Uganda, not from South Sudan. And they want more other 39 billions from Uganda to go to South Sudan. And the government of South Sudan is giving again Uganda to do the operations money in South Sudan. Then who is stealing this money? Bro, we need to open our eyes here. Because if the government of South Sudan says they are giving more, it's an additional. They already given them. They gave them money already. Now they are adding them more money. $11 million for UPDF to do operations in South Sudan. Let's see here. Juba, South Sudan Vice President Benjamin Bolmol has approved an addition of $11 million for the upkeep. But again, the Minister of Defense and the UPDF officers are in parliament asking for money to go and cater for our soldiers in South Sudan. Yet the government of South Sudan is paying. Bro, what's fishy here? Okay, for upkeep of the Ugandan People's Defense Forces, UPDF, operating in South Sudan. You hear that? This latest release brings the total amount allocated to the UPDF activities in the country to $42 million in just a short span, following the last week's $31 million disbursement. The minister said UPDF is creative. You see this? They are there on a deal. Give us money. The guy gave them money. In the beginning, $31 million for UPDF. They took off. They went there to keep him in power. And after that, the guy gave them more $11 million for upkeep of UPDF operations in South Sudan. Now that total is to $42 million. Just within this period, they have just consumed $42 million from the government of South Sudan. And they are here asking for money for their operations, saying they don't have money for the operations in South Sudan. But here they say, an allegation, this allegation is say they have been given money totaling to $42 million for their work in South Sudan. Jesus Christ. Let's hear this woman again. Yeah.
4,000 troops of Uganda that are in Luri. Since January 2024, we have been having those soldiers in Luri. They have been taking good care of them, giving them good food, giving them good salaries. They have been getting $1,000 every month. But you don't get salary as the SSPDF. You don't get salary as the South Sudanese citizens or the civil servant. They have not been paying you for so long, but they have been taking good care of these soldiers, including their schools, their hospitals. They have done a lot of good things for them. Now, I'm here to bring into your attention, as much as they are bringing the UN, the UPDF into South Sudan, it is distraction. It's not going to be one-sided. As much as they want to take it to Nasser, it's not about Nasser anymore. It's about the government of South Sudan have failed. And there's no way as SSPDF you will accept other troops come from Uganda. That is mocking you. They are mocking the SSPDF. It shows that the government doesn't trust the SSPDF anymore. The government doesn't trust soldiers anymore. Yeah. And why will they go and bring other troops if they really believe that we have enough soldiers in the country?
Yes.
So that means it's no longer about you. So what I'm here to tell you is take side. Choose the side of the citizens and fight for your country. Fight for your country. Leave all this hatred. Fight for your country. And then another thing is, I'm here to call the whole world. The UN, are you seeing the Ugandans sending their troops to South Sudan? The America, there was an army embargo you put to South Sudan, and Uganda is still using, bringing the weapons openly like that to a level. They put it on Twitter, they put it on Facebook, they put it everywhere, and they're bragging about it. So, why is the whole world giving a deaf ear to this situation that we are going on as South Sudanese? Why are you guys giving us a deaf ear? We need to hear what is really happening. It's no longer about what? No, and thanks to South Sudanese, now you are awake. You have been sleeping for so long. Thanks, now you are awake. Because they have been using us among ourselves. They have been using Dingas against the Nuer against the Equatorians like that. But now we are awake. We don't want to be used anymore because the resources, they are the only few who enjoy the resources. But we suffer. When it's come to war, they want to take you to war. But they don't give, no, let their money, just like that was said by one of the soldiers, let their money go fight for them.
Okay.
Their money, let it go fight for them. Yes, just like there was a man that used to eat his food alone. And then he was told, yeah, let your bones go fight for you, or let your bone go bring for you water. Yes, enough is enough. If you're accepting the SSPDF, the new SSPDF, you're accepting these troops to come to the country, that is undermining you. They are mocking you. They say you are not qualified enough.
Yeah.
So the government have even turned against you. It doesn't trust you anymore. And then what have happened? The government, when they already finish using generals, then they plot them so that they can be killed. Like now what happened in Nasser, the killing of Major General. It was the government who did this. How did they do it? They told the bodyguard. Because the bodyguard of General was the one who opened fire. The General bodyguard opened fire, and then people, and then the White Army defended themselves, and then it ended to the war. It went to the killing of generals and everybody. So that means that there's a hidden agenda. There's a hidden agenda against this, the killing of general. I've been asking myself, is it the UN that have the mistake? Is it the White Army? Or the government have been plotting to be able to eliminate it for so long and they did not get the chance? Because automatically with the mission he went to, if he will have gone back to Juba, they will give him a big position. And a very good example is, what happened? Anytime they remove a call, what happened to they put him into under house arrest. They wanted to kill him. It's the same thing they wanted to do to Majur. So I want you guys to open your mind. Analyze these things in a better way. Don't just come out, say, no, the White Army did this, or who did this. And the White Army, they're not White Army. Not mean people. It doesn't belong to the Nuer alone. The White Army is for the all youth who are there to fight for their freedom, to fight for their country. So not mean people.
Oh, you heard that? I've been hearing of White Army, and I was asking myself, what is the White Army? Who are these White Army? I thought maybe white men from Asia, white men from Europe, white men from America came in South Sudan and formed an army called White Army. I never knew it was the youth, the people of South Sudan, the youth, the Mwananchi, the Gen Z of South Sudan. They are fighting back their country. They want back their country in their hands. They see their country is being taken away from them. So they formed an army called White Army. I've been asking myself, what's White Army? Now I know. Thank you, woman. Thank you, sister.
In Nuer language, it means people. So not, it means the youth.
Okay.
White Army.
Okay.
So don't think that it's only the Nuer alone. You and the Nuer and the Equatorians, you are part of the North White Army. So it's high time we join hands because the government have failed. To the level they are bringing troops from other countries, our resources will continue to be consumed when you, the soldiers, are sitting down doing nothing. In the cantonment side, we have a lot of soldiers that have not been deployed. They have not been sent to any mission because they still think that you are not qualified and they are going to bring Ugandan troops. They are not bringing them for free. They are using South Sudan money. They are using the money you're supposed to be enjoying with your children. There's money you're supposed to be taking your children to school. To do what? To give to those soldiers. They are
Oh, I'm so glad this day has come. Now I'm 100% sure Africans are now awake. Everybody around the world is awake now. Bro, in past years, we are not here. They would use us and we don't know what's going on. No, people are awake. Bro, they are using your money for their benefits. They are not using you, the soldiers of South Sudan, because they fear you. They think you are not competent. You are not there to fight for your country. So they'll bring in foreign troops to fight for your country. Yet you are just there seated. Oh, bro. And they are not paying you. Bro. Now the world is awake. This woman is really analyzing things correctly. This woman is giving the reality. The real things that in the South Sudan, what they are thinking. And mark you, no matter who you are, where you are, you never change what people think about you. You never change what people think about their country. You never change people's beliefs. If they believe you are wrong in their country, they'll believe that. You never change them to think that you are good in their country. Even if you multiply, you supply a lot of propaganda out there, they'll not believe it. Now feel what South Sudanese are thinking about Ugandan UPDF, that is South Sudan, is making their soldiers, their brothers and sisters of South Sudan army jobless, being not paid. Because the money which would have been paid, which would have paid them as salaries, is given to UPDF. And UPDF is in Uganda asking for more money, that they don't have money to cater for their operations in South Sudan, which operation doesn't help Uganda. No way. No way. Tell me, how does Ugandans benefit from the fighting in South Sudan? Okay, they are our neighbors. Right, they are our neighbors. We must protect our neighbors. We must call for action for our neighbors. But when they give you money to go and help them, and you say they haven't given you money, and you ask for money from the Ugandan taxpayer to take to South Sudan, yet the government of South Sudan gave you money. But what's this? Who is fake here? Who is fake here?
They're making sure their welfare is very good. Enough is enough. And to all South Sudanese, over our dead body, should Bol Mel become the president over our dead body? Because since he entered into the government, it's been problems after problems. At least before there was a little peace. Now since he entered, it's problems after problems. It's war every day. So just like as it has started, he's not yet the president. If he becomes the president, who will survive? He will bring the whole world and chase us away. He will stay in his country. But I don't know who will he rule. So I'm here to to tell the whole world, yes, Uganda have come out publicly and clearly and have declared that it's the only country that want to wipe South Sudan. They want to finish South Sudan. No. And we are calling to the...
No, sister. It's non-Ugandans. It's non-Uganda. But it's General Museveni, his son, and the UPDF officials are the ones in South Sudan, not Ugandans. No. It's not like that, sister. It's General Museveni, because he did this with his son, not without the consent of Ugandans. Because they took UPDF in South Sudan without the approval of Parliament. And our Parliament is there for the Ugandans. If our MPs participated in sending UPDF in South Sudan and they approved it through Parliament, because the law says that, you would have said Uganda. But all members of Parliament are not in this. They first took UPDF, they brought them in your country. Then after the alarm that Ugandan is made, asking, why are you taking our soldiers out there without our approval? Then they brought it in Parliament. Now we're already there. Now nothing to do. Okay, give us pass. But they're already there. Meaning all this operation from the beginning, it was fake. Yeah. There was no Ugandan approved this through their member of Parliament. Yeah, you agree with me. So it's not Uganda. It's General Museveni and his army.
The Sudan government. This is our country. It's the south and the north. So we are calling you to come and also warn what is happening from at least warn Uganda. You can look at Uganda. Sudan, not Sudan. I am calling you to check on what the Uganda is doing. Because yes, you have been there 1956 and then yes, it's equally. Come and answer what is happening in Uganda. What is Uganda trying to do into South Sudan? Answer that. And to the other world, yes, whoever is coming in.
Now you see, these are all the repercussions of leaders who don't want to leave power. Yeah. All this is the repercussions of leaders who don't want to leave power. That's what I'm saying. Because if General Museveni had left power long ago, we would have been having several leaders up here. who are working for peace, who fear nothing of their lives, who fear nothing of their power. Nobody's intimidating their power. But General Museveni now is doing something because he fears for his power. He don't want to be thrown out of the power. He just want to be the president till death. Yo? So he will do whatever it takes. He will go anywhere to protect his chair, to protect that seat where he is sitting. And that's the reason why he is in South Sudan. He thinks if somebody else take over South Sudan, things might change from there and is overthrown. So that's why he's there. And what South Sudanese are now thinking of our country, Uganda, it's like they want to come and fight us. Now they hate us. That we are killing them. We are making them slaves in their country. We are making them unstable in their country. So they hate us. We are making them really refugees. Listen clearly.
Then it's have to be, it's no longer a war of what? It's Uganda have interest in this. But I don't know what's the interest of Uganda. They want more refugees to leave South Sudan so that they can continue to get more money from Uganda, right? Because the refugees are in South Sudan is not for free. The UN is paying for them and is paying handsomely to the government of Uganda. So they want more refugees so that they can continue to do what? To eat more money.
Jesus Christ, bro. That's why I told you, now the world is watching. The world is awake. Who knew this South Sudanese woman would say that? Would be knowing that Uganda is getting a lot of money from refugees. That General Museveni is going around disrupting these areas to get more refugees, to get more money from UN. Bro. Now you see what people are thinking about General Museveni and our government. You see what people are thinking about General Museveni actions? They are no longer seeing it as a help, as a hand, as a brotherly love. Let's help each other. Let's wipe out away wars. Let's wipe away instability in our region. Because General Museveni says, and the UPDF, South Sudan is our neighbor, is our friend, is our brothers and sisters. So we must protect them. We must give them peace. They must be at peace. Because if your neighbor is not at peace, you'll never be at peace. That's General Museveni what he's saying and the UPDF. And that's okay. That's right. I applaud that. We must protect our neighbors. But what your neighbors think about your presence in their country? Yo, that's the key. They believe you are there to disrupt their peace, to make them refugees, to come in your country, Uganda, as refugees. You get more refugees, and UN gives you more money to cater for those refugees. In the end, Uganda is gaining. Two ways. South Sudan is paying UPDF officers to go into South Sudan. UPDF is asking for money from the consolidated fund of Uganda they are given. And Uganda is being given money from, if that's true, from UN to cater for the refugees from South Sudan. Bro, now people are awake. But, I want to join this with a certain interview statement from a UPDF officer who is speaking on behalf of UPDF in South Sudan. He says, we've been with our brothers and sisters from South Sudan as refugees in Uganda. Hear that.
We have also been host to South Sudanese refugees for many years. I went to school with South Sudanese.
Now, you can relate what the woman has said and what the officer is saying. We've been host to refugees from South Sudan for many years. And the woman is saying they are doing this to get more refugees, to get more money. What do you think?
And many have settled here, or they have been educated here, right from primary school up to university. So we are at the strongest and most reliable partner they have ever had in their struggles for independence and for self-emancipation, and in their current struggles for sustainable peace and security, economic prosperity, and generally socio-economic transformation. So they can always count on us. So any suggestions that we are there for any other reason, I think is quite preposterous. We do not have any chemical weapons in UPDF. We have not applied any heavy weapons anywhere. Actually, we have not been engaged as we speak in any violent hostilities with anyone. Not the White Army, not the other allied forces, and so on.
That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. Yeah, there was also an allegation of Ugandan army, UPDF, using chemicals to kill Sudanese. But the guy has clarified they haven't used any chemical there. Let's finish our woman.
Since when South Sudanese become now a self-employment? We become a self-employment to Sudan, no, to Uganda. Since when? We've been there for so long and they don't complain. Anytime they complain is they want more increment to be done by the UN. So Uganda, please stop. Stop destroying South Sudan. Stop bringing the troops. It's enough. All the gunship that have been shelling have been coming from Uganda, and we are all aware. And to South Sudanese, it's your country that is being destroyed. Ugandan children are still going to school. Ugandan children, they have good hospitals. Their women are very well kept. They have peace in their country. So there's no way they'll come and destroy our country so that we don't have peace. Please be awake. Wake up. Open your eyes. Don't continue to be used. The SSPDF, it's high time you come out and protect the citizens of South Sudan the way you're supposed to do. Our country is our country. Let's fight for peace. Nothing. War will always bring more harms and more destruction. Let's fight for peace. Let's fight for peace. Let's choose peace. The 64 tribes of South Sudan are there to stay. Nobody will leave. Not the Dinka, not the Nuer, not the Equatorians. The greater Barghazal, the greater Equatorian, the greater Upper Nile, they are there to stay. They are going nowhere. So let's accept it the way it is. There's no award for tribalism. There's no award for war, but there's award for peace. Let's choose peace. Let's advocate for peace. And to all South Sudanese youth, let's choose peace.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Your conclusion really made me happy. We must choose for peace. Let's choose peace. War is just destruction. Loss of lives, loss of property. We don't need wars. We don't need, bro. We don't need them. We must be at peace. You can't develop when you are in war, when you are shedding blood. Bro, you can't develop. Bro, I agree with you, sister, and I agree with everyone in South Sudan that we need peace. We need to work for peace. You know? We must do that. And if UPDF is there for peace, I think it will let be there, but they must be transparent. You can't be given money and you say we have no money, and you ask for other money from somewhere, meaning you are making this a business. For you want to gain money, but not help, because we are giving money. If that's true, according to the allegation that the government of South Sudan gave you $42 million to get up for you, and you are saying you don't have money, then you ask for another bunch of money from Uganda. And as this sister of ours is saying, you are in this, you know, to get more refugees in Uganda so that UN gives you more money, bro. That's what they are saying about us, about our country. That's what they think about our country. General Museveni and your government and your soldiers, the good soldiers, please address this. Communicate to more South Sudanese. Make them believe you are there for peace, not for business. But for them, they think you are there for business, not for peace. and they believe you are sided. You are on one side. You are not on two sides. You are not in the middle. You are on one side of someone and mistreating another side. Why are you picking sides? A Ugandan officer I have shown you lately, he said they are not on any side. But again, in his conversation, he says, we are there on behalf of the ruling government, the legitimate government. And then you are said you are not choosing any side. And again, you say you are there on behalf of the ruling government. That shows you are already on one side. Okay, that is in South Sudan. You know, that is in South Sudan. And everything going up there in South Sudan, bro, it's no good. We must pray for our brothers and sisters there. And we must pray for everyone in South Sudan. And we must pray for ceasefire. We must pray for peace. Then we have this bishop from South Sudan is also condemning this. Let's hear what he is saying. Quote of the day. The arrest of opposition leaders and the involvement of foreign military forces, especially the deployment of the Ugandan People's Defense Forces, UPDF, has only served to highlight fears and mistrust. Such actions risk turning our beloved country into a battleground for external interests and political manipulations. We caution our leaders in South Sudan returns to full-scale violence. The consequences will be catastrophic. The loss of human life, the collapse of national unity, and the breakdown of already fragile institutions will devastate future generations. The political neglect of the suffering of our people, of the poor, the displaced, the orphans, and the widows will not go unremembered by God. Archbishop Stephen Ameu, Martin Muller, Cardinal and Archbishop of Juba, speaking on behalf of the Archbishops of on Saturday, March 29, 2020. That's what is in South Sudan. And our soldiers are there, you see them. Our soldiers, UPDF officers, you know, moving around, bro, enjoying the life in South Sudan. My South Sudan is beautiful. I like the weather. You like it? And in Uganda, it's not yet finished. Political leaders, political denominators in Uganda, they are questioning the presence of Ugandan army in South Sudan. And this is what they had to say.
So the UPDF here is talking about deploying in response to what happened in Nasir. What about what happened in Western Equatoria? What about what happened in Juba?
Mm-hmm.
What about these things of the agreement being broken down? So it also went again further to the extent of arresting Dr. Riek Machar. And when Dr. Riek Machar was arrested, IGAD, we thank the countries of IGAD, Kenya, Ethiopia, Djibouti, they got concerned, and an envoy was sent there, Honorable Raila Odinga. The report coming out of the press is very bad. That Raila Odinga, on reaching there, he talked to General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the president, His Excellency, the president of South Sudan, about the matter. And he also requested to go and talk to the counterpart of the conflict, Dr. Riek Machar. But according to the report, which is circulating also in the media, a report issued by Honorable Raila Odinga himself, that when he requested to go and see Dr. Riek Machar, he was not allowed. Instead, the president referred him to go to Uganda and see President Museveni. To get permission to see Riek Machar, you have to come to Uganda and ask President Museveni. What does it mean? It means President Museveni is the one who ordered for the arrest of Riek Machar. How do you send anybody from there who wanted to see Dr. Riek Machar from South Sudan to come to President Museveni in Uganda and Kampala here to ask for permission? How? This one gives the impression that the command, the instructions that go arrest Riek Machar were given from Kampala. And this put Uganda in a very bad position. That's why I would like to implore our president, His Excellency Museveni, regardless of the goodwill, the good things you have ever done, in this particular case, you have already been misunderstood. You have been understood badly as the one who has caused the problem, the one who has ordered the arrest. Therefore, you move out. Let other people, let other leaders of Africa take the lead. Come back home with our troops. Let other leaders of Africa go there, and they manage the problem. And if they fail, then they can ask you as a consultant of the region that we tried, we have failed, now you come back. Let them be the one to come back and request you, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, our president of Uganda, that you deploy the troops so you come. But for this case, there is already a bad picture about Uganda. Our position as FDC is stick to the agreement.
Right, that stick to the agreement.